Have you ever wondered what makes a lone wolf so fascinating to watch on TV? There's something undeniably thrilling about a character who stands their ground solo, taking on chaos with grit, smarts, and a steadfast moral compass. Before diving in, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It helps us keep bringing you more stories just like this one. Back in the golden days of television, the 60s through the 90s, action-packed shows often featured solitary heroes who could dismantle entire criminal operations on their own. They were tough, unapologetic, and carried an aura of invincibility. Um, but as storytelling evolved, the focus shifted to ensemble casts and teamwork, certainly more realistic, but not quite as electrifying. And thankfully, the lone warrior archetype hasn't completely disappeared. Instead, it's been reimagined with a modern flair, blending the old school charm with contemporary storytelling. What exactly makes these characters so magnetic? Um, the rebels of the television world, often operating outside the rules, sometimes bending them, other times snapping them in half. Think of them as the superhero of a single player game, defying conventional wisdom while pulling us into their dangerous, morally ambiguous worlds. They may not always play by the book, but that's part of what makes them irresistible, isn't it? Take Robert McCall, for example. Back in the 80s, viewers could count on the Equalizer to deliver justice in a slick, efficient way. Every so often, McCall, a retired intelligence operative, would answer desperate cries for help through a small, cryptic, classified ad speculator. He wasn't just solving problems. He was a one-man army delivering payback on behalf of those who couldn't fight back. It's as if he carried the weight of the world on his shoulders, and somehow never broke a sweat. Fast forward to more recent favorites like Banshee, where a former thief assumes the identity of a sheriff in a small town, not rather interest. Now there's an idea, why apply for the job when you can just take it? But the show's main character, aptly nicknamed Fake Hood, is the epitome of thrill-seeking anti-heroes. His moral compass may veer off course now and then, but there's no denying his knack for blending brute strength with clever improvisation. Plus, let's be honest, if criminals are going to randomly kill the real sheriff in the first episode, you might as well make the most of it, right? Speaking of running from trouble, The Fugitive offers a masterclass in suspense. Dr. Richard Timble's escape from the law while hunting down the real killer of his wife was peak 60s TV. But his plight wasn't just thrilling, it was relatable. Because who wouldn't root for an innocent man wrongfully accused of murder? Even today, those 120 episodes of Cat and Mouse Chases remain a binge-worthy treasure. Jump ahead a few decades, and you'll find another adrenaline-filled TV staple. Jack Bauer isn't just fighting bad guys, he's racing against the clock. With each season unfolding over a single day, the series brought real-time tension to the screen like never before. Whether it's rescuing hostages or dismantling conspiracies, Bauer's world is a constant high stakes sprint. And sure, his methods could raise a few eyebrows, but hey, when you're racing the clock, there's no time for apologies. And then there's Simon Templar, aka the Saint, a 20th century crusader with a James Bond like flair, minus the official government badge, and armed with just his charm and a knack for outwitting bad guys. He became a pop culture sensation in the 60s, plus anyone who drives a sleek Volvo P1800 and battles corrupt politicians is automatically cool. Wouldn't you agree? Or how about a show like Warrior, where a martial artist finds himself immersed in the gritty underbelly of 19th century San Francisco, based on a concept originally envisioned by Bruce Lee. This is no ordinary fight club. Sam isn't just battling Chinatown's criminal networks. He's navigating family drama with impossible odds stacked against him. And it's like a martial arts soap opera. And honestly, who wouldn't love that? For those who prefer their lone wolves a little darker, The Punisher serves up heavy doses of justice with an intensity like no other. Frank Castle's vendetta against those who wronged him takes the term street justice to a whole new level. And between the bone-crushing action and the raw emotional depth, the show reminds us why some battles are better fought alone. Just keep in mind, if you're a villain in Frank's path, you might want to update your life insurance policy. Shows like Renegade and Kung Fu brought their own unique flavors to the mix. Former cop turned bounty hunter Reno Raines cruised around on a Harley Davidson while kicking bad guys into oblivion, proving that life on the run can have its perks. And then there's Kwai Chang Caine, the Shaolin monk of Kung Fu, who brought wisdom and martial arts to the American Old West. And who knew solving problems with a mix of head smashing and spiritual enlightenment could be so satisfying. And last but certainly not least, we've got Reacher, Amazon's gritty take on Lee Child's iconic character. Jack Reacher doesn't need fast cars or high-tech gadgets, just a sharp mind, raw muscle, and the willingness to take down anyone who crosses him. Honestly, between his towering frame and no-nonsense demeanor, he might be more intimidating than your Wi-Fi cutting out mid-episode. Here's a joke to keep things light. Why don't any villains in these shows have a plan B? Right, because they don't survive long enough to use it. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time,